Last video, a few people asked about this technique that paints normal details directly onto clothes, essentially requiring no sculpting, adding zero geometry, but does affect how light reacts, and works with the fabric detail underneath. Normal maps can add so much detail to clothing and outfits. One game that's amazing at them is Arknight's Endfield, and we're going to continue our character creation series by taking notes from them to create our own outfit. But how do you even start? How do you even edit normal maps? Actually, it's never been easier. For this, you need to have Blender 5+, and the greatest free plugin that ever existed on Blender, Yuk Paint. Now simply add a new material to your mesh. There should be a new Yuk Paint tab here on the right side. Click it, and then click Quick Yuk Paint Node Setup. Press OK. You're in the Layers tab, press plus, and add a solid color for your base. Press OK, and then add another layer, but this time go to New Image. Change the channel to normal. 2K resolution is good. Hit OK. Oh, and don't forget to unwrap your UVs in the UV editing tab. Now, naturally, whenever you want to use Yuk Paint, you have to be in the texture paint mode. Now up here, select the Paint Hard Pressure brush. Hold Control before you draw to flip the direction. Now you're going to go from hard to soft by changing to Erase Soft and erase all the corners until you get a diamond-like shape. Then use Blur to quickly blur it down a little. And lastly, use Smear to change the directions and create branching strands. If you don't mind a little setup, an even more efficient way is to make a crease stamp. So you just stamp it and smear it. I created this brush by simply creating a soft circle on a black background in Photoshop and then squishing it down. Made a curve variation too. Then in texture paint mode, I went here to texture mask, or you can click this tab on your bottom right and then import the image. Then I changed the stroke method to anchored. Now you have this kind of rotating crease stamp. I'm gonna turn off symmetry. And again, hold Control before you press so that the crease goes outward. And then touch it up with a smear so that it looks more organic. So how do we actually want the creases to go here? Well, there will be a lot of extra fabric under the boobs. I'll put a straight one on that side and a curved one on this side so that they're a little different from each other. Let's double up this crease right here, add one around the midsection area, and now for some quick ab definition, I'll use an anchored soft brush. I'll go with a lower strength to hollow out the sides like this, and hold Control, go in the inverse direction, and add some meat to the middle. This will be on a separate layer, so that you can tune its influence separately by sliding the opacity on the layer. I'll actually add a couple of inward creases here on the middle where it's getting stretched out. A couple on the side also makes sense, and I'll add creases on the collar area as well. Now to create the actual normal map, click the normal channel, click this cog and press bake normal channel, 2K, hit OK, and then down here you can save an image copy. Save it wherever, it'll look like this violet image. This file will contain all the data you need to plug into that normal channel. In Blender, you would change color space to non-color, plug it into normal, and add this normal map node in between to give you the proper setup. Same thing for whatever game engine you're putting it in. The material will have a slot for the normal map, and likely a way to tune its influence. Well, of course, today's project file will be on my blacksmith tier on Patreon. It'll also include all of the brushes, which again, they're easy to make, but just for your convenience, they'll also be in the zip file, and all you have to do is append them. Now hold up, let's not forget about the base fabric normal layer under the creases. I'll show you how to make this basic ribbed material, and this has to be done before the creases. The UVs have to be set up a certain way. So to accommodate that, I'm gonna do my seams this way. I'm gonna mark one right here, mark seam, and probably need one right here too, and that should be good. So I'll apply my mirror, go over to UV editing. On this side, I'll do A to select all. And go on this side, do the same thing, and then unwrap it. Then we'll create a new layer, and instead of an image, we'll use generated layer wave. Let's go with that. Change the channel to normal. Hit OK. And let's scale this up until we get the stripe effect that we want. Let's add a little distortion and detail. And before I tune it further, see how like the stripes are not going the same way. Go back to our UV editing. Hide the overlays here. Let's rotate this one so that it matches. This is kind of weird. So how I'm gonna fix that is I'm gonna select the edges, the left and right edges, and I'll do a line vertically on both sides. I'll do the same for this as well. Control I, invert my selection, and then unwrap it again. Okay, I'm good with that. because now it like flows together better. I also ended up straightening these ones, otherwise the bottom ones are not aligned. And that's really it for the base material. Of course, we'll explore other different types of fabrics later, but one other thing that you can do in Yuk Paint at any time is tick on this displacement setup under normal channel, and that'll turn it into actual displacement instead of just altering the lighting. It's now clipping into the skin, so we tone it down a little. And the reason this is useful is that you can kind of see whether your normal mapping is reasonable or if it's a little too extreme. Like you can see the individual creases and see how much they actually displace, turn down the layer opacity, and try to get it to as close as how big the creases would actually be. Also note that it automatically creates a subsurf modifier, so just be aware of that. Even when you uncheck it, it remains there and you have to remove it manually if you're not planning to use it. Thanks to Yuk Paint, creating various textures is pretty easy. Let's try another one like the inside quilted pattern of Perlica's jacket. Again, we just made a quick texture in Photoshop, which is just a bunch of blurred squares duplicated like this. Using the same anchored stroke, we can easily place it onto the clothing. It's view angle dependent, so do align it to the camera where it would make sense. And let's also add a layer for color. So click the plus icon under layers and select new image. Change the channel to color. And another good thing to know is masks. Click the plus icon beside mask and do open existing image as mask. I select the layer that my quilted pattern is on and make sure to check alpha for image channel. This will allow us to easily paint only the area that has the quilted pattern, which will be useful for when we make more advanced clothes with different kinds of materials and items on it. That'll be the goal for the next clothing video. Think of this as just, the basics, the part 1. And don't worry, we'll cover everything including like the metallic, roughness channels, maybe even stuff like stitches, zippers, belts. Essentially, we'll just try to steal the Arknight's outfit formula. The funny thing is, it doesn't even really get that much more complicated than what's covered in this video. It's more of the same, but you just combine everything together and you tailor it depending on the situation. So have fun trying this if you haven't already, and I will see you, my goats, in the next video. As always, have yourselves a good night.